a 1960s academic paper by Ronald Coase, The Problem of Social Cost rethinks how to address nuisances and disputes without relying solely on litigation. This work fundamentally reshaped the weight lawmakers and public officials give to law and regulation in determining dispute outcomes and became the foundation of modern legal economics. Coase wrote the paper while serving on the faculty at the University of Virginia, and he was awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences in 1991. The paper examines what economists call the problem of externalities, costs or benefits imposed on someone who did not choose to incur them. Legal costs, particularly those arising from litigation, often fall into this category. The law typically seeks to justify these costs by holding the at-fault party responsible. However, Coase points out that such cost allocation is not always economically efficient, which is the central argument of the paper. Coase advocates for eliminating transaction costs and allowing parties to negotiate directly to allocate expenses, rather than defaulting to courts. He challenges the conventional economic approach to externalities, known as Pigou's method. A common illustration involves a factory X that causes $100 in annual pollution damage. Under Pigou's framework, the factory should be taxed $100 per year until the problem is corrected. If X can install a pollution control device for $90, the tax incentive disappears. Coase contends this approach is socially flawed, making X pay $100 annually to Y. The affected community allows Y to benefit from X harm without truly solving the underlying problem. Instead, Coase proposes assessing solutions based on economic efficiency for all parties, which may diverge from strict legal prescriptions. For instance, if it is cheaper for X to compensate Y to relocate than to pay a $100 annual tax, then relocation may cost only $40. In this scenario, taxing X $100 annually forces a higher cost than the actual damage caused. The goal is to internalize rather than externalize costs, which Coase argues is inherently fairer. When parties reach agreements themselves, expenses remain low. Litigation, conversely, drastically increases costs as lawyers must untangle rights, enforceability, and numerous legal complexities. Internalizing costs from the outset is both fairer and more efficient for all involved. The core issue, Coase explains, lies in distinguishing social from private costs. How these costs are assigned can be inequitable. In the earlier example, the unintended social cost is the harm to the community caused by pollution. The law generally compels the responsible party to cover this cost, but Coase urges a reassessment of the activity's overall benefits against its downsides. He notes that, for instance, if pollution damages fish in a stream, one must weigh whether the harm is justified by the power generated by the plant. Such judgments are ultimately private because law alone cannot answer them. Coase acknowledges that litigation is sometimes unavoidable. In these cases, lawyers should focus on minimizing costs, employing strategies such as combining resources or firms to reduce economic inefficiencies. Courts and legal professionals, he argues, should aim for the most economically efficient outcomes. In complex disputes with multiple claims, transaction costs often make litigation inefficient. For example, nuisance cases involve arguments over property rights, negligence, damages, and other issues, consuming substantial time to reach a result parties could have negotiated independently. When courts must intervene, they should consider economic fairness rather than adhere rigidly to legal formalities. Market realities and economic considerations evolve, unlike the law, and courts should adapt accordingly to achieve just and efficient resolutions. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.